First, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth and sincerity, and also to Akim that's out there also pushing this truth and sincerity. And here we are, coming back to our nationality. We elect 1/3. Are coming back to our nationality, but yet 2/3 do not want to hear this. We now know that we're in the times that we're going to come back to our nationality. We're going to come back to the realization of who we are. But 2/3 are not going to listen, because we know that as you caught last week, we were talking about how that man of sin's been revealed. That's Esau, the so-called white man, been revealed in every way possible. And then you have their counterfeit Christianity coming at us. Jesus is the Word, G-Man, all these devils that they want to send our way, but yet they're getting sliced and diced by this word because, they can't push their illusion, their Christ illusion out there anymore because, as you come to the realization that Yahushai and Jesus Christ are really two different entities. One exists and one doesn't exist, And Yahushai told us this, and if you shall go into that city, and they shall receive you not, it's going to be worse for that city than it was for Sodom. So here we are, there may be one or two of us in a country like Puerto Rico, or in Jamaica, or in Haiti. Maybe one of us is out there teaching like I so far am the one here in Redding teaching here on Hilltop, and people receive us not, they choose to ignore this. Well, go ahead and keep on ignoring this, we're still going to come out and proclaim this, because, 2/3 of you people are wicked anyway, and look at what destruction came to Puerto Rico, though, most recently, Efrain Rodriguez, which, still is under the philosophies of Esau, the so-called white man, yet he's been teaching it for years that Puerto Rico was going to be destroyed. A lot of people picked up on the Efrain Rodriguez prophecy, and following the counterfeit Christianity, which is the illusion that Esau is putting out there that Jesus so loves the entire world, including the wicked Edomites, which is not even biblical, but, yet Efrain Rodriguez pushed that philosophy because 2/3 of our people, are still going to follow philosophies of Esau's so-called white man, even though this white man has done nothing but destroy our people, wanting to build a wall and, just all the things that Esau does, to show his hatred, his perpetual hatred towards us, yet they still want to follow him. But yet you have our people that are out there teaching also in the name of Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, proclaim this word, and yet nobody's paying heed to that. Well, sudden destruction came to Puerto Rico, did it not? And we've been prophesying that for a long time, that the wicked 2/3 were going to be destroyed, and yet this whirlwind came and pretty much wiped out Puerto Rico. Now they're trying to call, but they're still calling on the name of Caesar Borgia, who they call Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ and Yahushua are two different people. One exists and one doesn't exist, but they would rather go with this false image set up by Esau, Caesar Borgia. So, I'm going to read out of Zechariah chapter 14. I'm going to read this passage and break down to the best of my ability. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the woman ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. And this happened in 70 AD. This city was besieged, and the abomination of desolation was set up, which they don't want you to know about. They want you to think that that's a future prophecy, which in the essence of the way it was written biblically, yes. But these Edomites are teaching you, other false philosophies. This happened, the abomination of desolation was set up. You can read about that in 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 52, I believe. That the abomination of desolation was set up in the temple. Esau had put the pig up there and caused everybody to eat of that pig. That was an abomination. And that was the abomination of desolation that's spoken of by Daniel. But they took out these books, the Apocrypha, so that way you would not know these things, you know. So, again, the city was besieged. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle. Yes, because, again, you know, this is talking about our very soon future here, that when Yahushua returns, he's going to destroy this place, Babylon the Great, which is the second beast that's spoken of in Revelation. The first beast was the Roman Empire, which is the one that besieged the city, Jerusalem, but then we came back into power, and we was in power, what they call the Dark Ages, for 1,000 years. We came back into power, but then Satan, who is Esau, was let loose. In other words, he came back to his full power, aka the second beast. And what was the first thing that the second beast did? He set up his image. You know, that those shall not worship his image should be killed, aka the Inquisitions and everything. You know, that if you did not worship this image of Caesar Borgia, you were put to death. And so we know that this second beast is talking about the revised Roman Empire, the Edomites, which the Edomites are so-called white people. And his feet shall stand in the day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem, on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof toward the east and toward the west. And there shall be a great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove toward the north, and half it toward the south. Again, you know, this is talking about when Yahushua returns. You know, they say when his feet touch the earth that there's going to be a worldwide earthquake, you know. And so that's what this is talking about. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azai. Ye shall flee, like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah, and the Lord Yahweh shall come, and all the saints with thee. Yes, the saints are talking about the Israelites, not these so-called Roman Catholics, which we know that the Roman Catholics are nothing more than revised Roman Empire made up of the Edomites and all the wicked. You know, and 2/3 of our people worship that wicked, you know, which are these countries and places that are being destroyed right now because they'd rather worship Caesar Borgia, even though we're telling them that Yahushua was a dark-skinned man, that the one that they're calling Jesus Christ was really a black man having hair white like wool, feet like undefined brass as if burned through a furnace. But they don't want to worship that. They'd rather worship this image that the second beast, which is the Edomites, set up, Caesar Borgia. But it shall be one day which shall be known to the Lord, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light. And it shall be in the day that living waters shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, and half of them toward the hinder sea. In summer and in winter shall it be. And that's what we're doing here. The elders and apostles, a great millstone, and the Akim that's out here teaching this truth. We don't care what season it is, whether it's coming down raining hard or it's, you know, a bright sun. We don't care. We're going to come out and teach this word. Whether you want to hear it or not, this word's going to be proclaimed. That's what this is talking about. So we know that this is happening. All the land shall be turned as a plain, from Geba to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem. It shall be lifted up and inhabited in her place from Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate. And we know who the tribe of Benjamin is. So-called Jamaicans or Benjamites, you know. And you have famous celebrities that are Benjamites, such as Whoopi Goldberg, Booker T, you know. And yet you have our people out there teaching, but they're not heeding this word. And men shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. Yes, we're going to come back to Jerusalem, and we're going to come back to our nationality, which is what we're proclaiming now. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. It's talking about Edomites and pretty much the rest of the world that said that they shall cut off Israel and they shall remember no more. And that's what they did when they put up their images. They took down our images and had, you know, set themselves up as God. You know, proclaimed to be the Jews and proclaimed claim to be the saints of the Most High, when we know that Esau is that wicked. And it shall come to pass in the day, with a great turmoil from the Lord shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. And we can see that happening now. You know, people are rising up against Esau's so-called white man and are turning against each other. You know, you have our people divided amongst themselves, you know. You know, blacks against Latinos, Latinos against blacks, and Native Americans against both blacks and Latinos. Our people are divided because, you know, they've accepted what Esau has put on them, you know, these other names thereof. They'd rather be everything else but Israelites. They don't want to come back to the nationality. And so shall the plague of the horse, of the mule, and of the camel, and of the ass, and all the beasts that shall be in these tents as the plague. And so our people are plagued with all these other philosophies, and they don't want to come back to their nationality. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go from year to year to worship the King of Kings and the Lord of Hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Again, this is talking about all the nations that came against Yasharahla. And so let's cut them off from being a nation, you know, that put us into captivity. Yet they're going to be coming to worship the Most High, and they shall know that He's the Most High. And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of Hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. Again, these plagues will come upon all these wicked nations, you know. And we're going to put all these nations into captivity for what they did to us. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, they have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Again, you know, this is talking about the not so distant future, because we know we're in that timeline now. Babylon the Great, America, is about to be destroyed by thermonuclear weapons and by the chariots of the Most High that they call UFOs. It's going to destroy this place. It's going to make this place desolate, and it shall be remembered no more. We will not remember our captivity. We'll be like, wait a minute, is this the man who causes the nations to tremble, that did weaken the nations? You know, Esau, Edom. Yet every part in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto the Lord of Hosts, and they shall be sanctified. Sacrifice shall come and take of them, and seed therein in that day. There shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the Lord of Hosts. Again, these wicked Amalekites that are occupying Jerusalem now, which we call them occupied Jerusalem, is what they are known as, but they're not the real Jews of the Bible. They are the Edomites, you know, the Amalekites, which are the worst part of Esau, the so-called white man. They're going to be destroyed, you know. So when we talk about the wicked of Edom, we're mostly talking about the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, who the world now knows as the Illuminati. You know, we're talking about the wicked of the wicked, you know, which is Amalek. As it was in the old days, so it is now. And these ruling families are going to be put to death, you know, but they're going to be in slavery for 1,000 years, and then they're going to be exterminated forever. But this whole place, and they're the ones that are causing this. They're causing World War III because they control both sides, just like they did in World War II, just like they're doing now. Yet the word Nazi, which we're supposed to believe that these Nazis killed these so-called Jews, but yet their very nationality are Ashkenazi. Huh, isn't that interesting? So this whole thing's been nothing more than a hoax, just like your Sandy hoax and your, you know, Boston bombing hoax, and the Las Vegas hoax, you know, all these hoaxes, you know, all a bunch of hocus pocus, witchcraft. And again, you know, this, you know, the wicked Esau doing all this, you know, deceiving the nations. But, you know, the day shall come, though, that Esau, who has great wrath, shall no longer deceive the nations, you know, because we know that Revelation 13 teaches us, he that leadeth into captivity must go into captivity, which were all these other countries that sided with the so-called white man that they should enslave us. And then you got those who kill with the sword must be killed by the sword. So we're going to destroy all these places, you know. We're going to see it destroyed. And if we are hopefully part of that elect, you know, if you are part of that elect, then you can't wait for Babylon the Great, America, to be destroyed. Because there is no hope here. There's no hope whatsoever. This place sucks. And you will never get ahead. You'll always be at the bottom of the pit. You got Edomites now that are just as homeless as we are, you know, that are out there, you know, pushing shopping carts and then being mowed down by the so-called white man because, you know, and being put into FEMA centers, you know, all these manufactured crises to put them in FEMA centers, ultimately to chip them, to get them to take the mark. And that mark is being pushed, which is the RFID chip. And yet, Elders and Apostles of Great Millstone and Great Millstone altogether is the only one teaching that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip. You know, all the other camps which are set up by Esau are playing games and telling you that the RFID is not the mark, that it's something else. Well, that's what Esau wants to do. Just like he blinded the world with Christianity, he wants to blind you with all these other philosophies, you know, that he made the rest of the nations drink of that cup of wrath, of indignation, which is Esau's philosophies, you know. Everybody knows that Esau can't keep his word, and yet they still make deals with the devil. But now you see that Satan is divided against Satan, you know, because Russia and all these other countries now are coming against the whore, Babylon the Great. They shall hate the whore, and shall burn her with fire, and shall make her desolate, which is about to happen. Esau is about to destroy Esau, just right before the day of our Lord, Yahweh, Hashem Yahshai. When Yahushai returns and reclaims this place and destroys this place, you know, missiles come down, we go up, you know, which, you know, these fake-ass Christians want to call the rapture, which is going to be the day of their death. Because they're going to be looking for Cesare Borgia to deliver them in that day, and they're going to be destroyed by nuclear fire. And it's going to be a great day. It's called the Days of Vengeance, and we're seeing it unfold. We see World War III. We've been in World War III for some time. It's just the finale is the nuclear destruction. So I hope this has all been edifying, and Lord willing, we'll keep on teaching here on Hilltop for a little while. Shalom.